For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, we're into the first week of December 2022. Isn't that amazing already? And we've got a couple guests that I think you're going to enjoy. The first is the police chief of the city of St. Clair, Mr. Tim Raker, Chief Tim Raker. And then we're going to follow that with a fellow that comes by every once in a while to talk about the St. Clair County. His name is Jeff Bohm. So stay tuned, but let's begin with the chief. Nice to see you, sir. Welcome back to the Focus program. Always a pleasure to have you here. It's a busy time. You guys are always busy, but the holidays give it a little different twist to it, don't they?
Yeah.
They make it a little more stressful, I suppose, for the officers as well as the people you serve.
Yeah, well, December with the holidays, there's people moving around. They're driving around. They're going to grandma's house. They're
through the woods.
Yeah, so our traffic crashes go up, thefts go up because of all the Amazon packages, FedEx packages. It's just, and some families don't like each other. When families get together, we have some family issues, and it's just a busy month for us.
Yeah, and the packages. I went home the other night I was in a meeting and I covered that, and then it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock by the time I got by the house. And the poor guy from Amazon or FedEx or one of those things, he was sort of in the middle of the road with his truck sideways because he didn't know where he was going. It was new territory for him. But he was actually causing a hazard in the road. His lights were blinking, but he was across the street and down the block, and he had this package in his hand. And he was looking around for the address and stuff. It was 10 o'clock. And I pulled in and got my car away and walked in the house, sat down, and the doorbell rang. He was coming looking for me.
I could have helped you out 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, as I went by him, I should have stopped and helped him.
Yeah.
But there's those kinds of issues. And then, as you said and you alluded to, a lot of people don't like Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob's crazy, and every time he comes home to the party, it causes trouble.
And you throw a little alcohol in there, and
it
causes trouble. So it's all about just paying attention, being aware, and
be patient.
Being patient is.
Okay, your force. How many officers you have now?
I have 7 full-time officers plus me.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, growing and growing. Any recommendations besides trying to drive slow and watch alcohol? I mean, lock doors.
Yeah,
it's all the same stuff.
It's all common sense. Criminals are opportunistic, so if you don't give them the opportunity, they'll usually go to the next person who does.
Okay.
So if you lock your doors of your car or your house, that's great. If someone knocks on your door, rings your doorbell, look through the window, make sure you know who it is before you open the door. Those Amazon packages, they usually send you an email when it's coming. If you're not going to be home, maybe contact the neighbor to take it off your porch, because those boxes sitting out there, the bad guys see them and take them.
I noticed a new thing in the recent months that now I think it's Amazon, that when they deliver it, they take a picture of it and then they send you the picture.
Yeah.
So you know it's on your porch.
Right. And
so it's not their responsibility if it's gone. It's your responsibility. So.
Right. Yeah. There's. I've said it before, I think, sitting here on Facebook, don't tell the world you're not home.
Yep. We're not going to North Carolina to see the Andy.
Checking in at North Carolina, just all that stuff just makes it easy for people. And you don't need to do that.
Piece of traffic news, a corner of Brown and Range.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been a popular corner for people in the middle of the night to make a stop at. I noticed this last week or so they put more steel there. Did they make that corner stronger?
No.
No.
And actually, we've been talking about how do we, I guess, a flashing red light, 2 stop signs, and a guardrail is not enough for people, and they're just running in it. The last one, there was no health event, there was no alcohol involved, it was just a woman not paying attention.
Well, we all can, and you talk about that for normal driving, but Christmas driving too, the same thing.
Right.
You're not paying attention. There's too many other things going on.
In your mind, and then you're going to get in that traffic crash, and if you're shopping, you don't shop alone this time
Okay.
of year, because the bad guys are looking, because they know everybody's spending and grabbing stuff. So take somebody with you.
Okay.
If you go to a store, try and find a parking lot that has more light than not. After you make your purchases, make sure you get your keys in your hand, so when you get to your car, you're ready to get in. And be aware of who's around.
And don't leave your packages in the car uncovered, for example.
Right.
Because that's just a big red flashing sign. Hey, I got junk here I can steal.
Right. Even after Christmas Day, you know, you throw your 52-inch
Yeah.
television box out.
Yeah.
They're made of cardboard. You can turn them inside out.
Very good idea.
Or fold them up, or you don't
Yeah.
need to tell people, look what's in my house.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
I got a new
Basic.
washer, I got a new dryer, I got a new KitchenAid something or other, and
and then this time of year, everybody's online trying to find that perfect gift, and if it sounds too good to be true,
no.
It is.
Really?
it is. Don't hit and put your credit card number in there and buy something that you're never going to get. So just, you got to be careful.
One of your officers, Corporal Ennis, is very active in trying to prevent crimes in the community from the internet. Has he got any news stories for us? Or
No, the big one going around now is that the Sheriff's Department is probably contacting you. It's not them, but they want you to send them some money because you have a warrant for your arrest. That doesn't happen from the sheriff, the state police, the St. Clair PD. We will never call you and ask you to pay a fine over the phone. It won't ever happen.
okay.
And
So let's see. It's a weekend. Christmas is a weekend this
Sunday,
year.
yeah, Sunday.
So that probably gives it a little different twist, also. But
Most people will probably have Friday and Monday off, which there's a lot of drinking.
yeah.
Be careful. Designated drivers, and I believe Blue Water Transit, and they all have the free rides that
Yeah.
those weekends. So just
So we've talked about Christmas. New Year's obviously is the week after. And again, alcohol and driving just don't mix.
right.
So
Right. And that's. I mean, there's
anything
not a
else
lot
on
more,
your list?
not
there?
a lot more safety, but there is. In February, we are putting together. Corporal Ennis, myself, Sergeant Patchett are putting together a Citizen Police Academy.
Oh, really?
We're going to run it, I believe, I can't remember the first day. We tried Tuesdays, starting in February, from 6 to 9 at night, one day a week on Tuesdays, for about 9 weeks. And just to give people kind of an overview of what St. Clair Police do and why we do it.
Is there an admission price? Or
It's free.
Free?
We will actually, within the next week, have an application form on the city's website. They can fill that out, send it in. We're going to limit it to 20 because it's our first time doing it. We want to make sure we can handle it. There'll be times where we'll take field trips and go tour.
Rob a bank or something?
Yeah. We're going to tour, actually, Port Huron Police Department has a simulator
Okay.
where they can do a shoot, don't shoot, and just see kind of in as real life as you can get it, and try and make a decision themselves to shoot something, someone or not.
Is there an age requirement?
It's going to be 18 and up. We will do a background check because we don't just want anybody. And because we're limiting the number, it'll be St. Clair City residents first, and then if we don't
Okay.
get the 20, we'll go outside.
So if I do apply and I'm a resident of the city, you are going to do a background check on me.
Yes.
Probably needed on me,
Right.
but
And it's going to be basic. We'll teach you how we arrest people, how we investigate, how we do traffic crashes, all that stuff. And actually, my goal is I'd love to have some adult volunteers through the year to sit under a St. Clair PD tent during, say, the fireworks.
yeah.
And instead of officers coming off their duties to handle found keys or a found credit card, they can drop them off with police volunteers and then go from
Okay.
there. So
Very good.
that's the goal.
I had another question, and of course it went right out the window, but I'll think of it in a minute here. So you guys are always busy. You're a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week service to the community,
Yes.
and
That's something we need to remind people because there are some people in town that observe something at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, but don't call till 9 o'clock because they don't think anybody's working. You can call anytime, anytime.
Does that call necessarily go to the county first and then in the middle of the night?
After hours, the
Okay.
sheriff's department answers
But
the phones.
they'll activate it and make sure that it gets taken care of.
Because there's always 2 patrolmen on
Okay.
24/7.
Well, the academy sounds good. The Citizen Academy, that's other communities have done it, and it's good.
And Corporal Ennis does a good, Corporal Ennis, myself, and Sergeant Patchett will probably be the main instructors, and
Okay.
the others will help, and so they'll get to know all of us.
You have a new pick 'em up truck.
Right.
Is that working out good for you guys?
It's good, yes. We can actually put stuff that found property in. Those Explorers are pretty tight when we put all the police equipment in them.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of room for,
There's no room in the trunk. You got all your radio
Right.
equipment.
so even a found bike, no.
Yeah.
Even if we had a Tupperware tote, there's just no room, so.
Okay. Have we missed anything?
I don't think we've missed anything.
You can check your list.
So check the city website
Right?
in about a week for that application. It'll be under police forms, and send it back. If you can't find it there, call the police department, and Ann Cleveland, who works for us, will
Yeah.
send it out to you.
Very good. His name is Chief Tim Raker of the City of St. Clair Police Department, and we're glad he came along to give us some really important information for this time of year. And our next guest, Mr. Bohm from the county, should be along in just a second. Stand by. And the aforementioned Mr. Jeff Bohm is here, sir. Welcome back to the Focus Set.
thanks
Always
for
a
having
pleasure
me.
to see your smiling face. You've got a job called Chairman of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners. Big, long title, and it's a big job. You got a lot of stuff going on.
I am very bricks and mortar economic development heavily based. You know, there's a lot of
Okay.
different things that we have to do on the county board. Fortunate that I have other commissioners that are really good at other particular areas, so I'm able to kind of assign some of those tasks. But my focus has always been taking a project from nothing and taking it to fruition. And you can
Yeah.
kind of see some of the other things, take much longer. They're constant, consistent, just kind of running some of the department heads. But I also serve in the capacity of the vice chairman for the Economic Development Alliance. Work very closely with Dan Casey
Yeah,
on
yeah.
projects, trying to recruit companies to St. Clair County. Why should we be in St. Clair County, and why shouldn't we be somewhere else? There's a lot of the stuff that we spend our time on.
And of course, over the last couple of years, that effort has ended up with a little small company by the name of Magna coming to the St. Clair Industrial Park. And they were here and this summer or early fall and made a big announcement.
Yeah, I mean, the initial phase, right, 340,000 square feet, 350, 400 jobs, give or take. They always had plans for expansion for a phase 2 and a phase 3. Well, phase 2 and phase 3 all happened at once.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So, yeah, and really what triggered that was they make the trays for the Hummer, okay, which is a big component. If you look at it, that thing is like, I think, 6 foot by 8 foot. It's huge. And that component that is actually used in the Hummer is also used in all the new GM trucks that are being produced.
Oh, and the truck.
In the
so
truck.
That'll be a bigger market.
So the van, yeah. So that's why the expansion. So if you saw General Motors putting a bunch of money into Orion Township
Yeah.
to convert over there in Lansing, this platform here is the same platform that is used to support those. To the point, I think initial estimates at one time they were talked about 60,000 units a year. Now it's pushing upwards to 500,000.
500,000.
500,000. So that's the reason for the expansion out here, which will ultimately be 1.1 million square feet, 1,200 jobs. I can tell you, I have seen the list of those jobs. 300 to 400 of those jobs are very technical, high-end engineering types of jobs. Really good employment to have in your area. To the point, there's so much technical, so much talent. I was talking to the HR director over there, and they're bringing people in from all over the world.
Okay.
Not just, this is the latest and greatest cutting edge. That's one thing that I didn't really understand. I guess when you first hear Magnin, the announcements, okay, automotive. Well, automotive, but the first of its kind in the EV space, whether you like it or hate it or whatever, so be it. I'm not going to sit there and argue that with you. But the reality of it's happening, it's coming, it's moving. So why not have it in Michigan, number one? Why not, better yet, have it in St. Clair County?
You say you called it a platform. What does that platform do?
Well, when I say platform, and I use that in kind of generic terms, what the platform, the same tray that they're building that goes in the Hummer is the exact same tray that is going to go in all the new trucks and other vehicles that General Motors is going to make. So it's
But the tray holds the batteries.
holds the batteries. But
How many is it? Is it like what we used to think in the olden days, which would be a year ago, or
Yeah.
2 days, or a month ago? The olden days would be like the body of the car.
Yeah, essentially the frame. So when you say the tray, 6 foot by 8 foot,
Yeah.
batteries go in there, but that is also then obviously the wheels come over there, and it's a huge
So
piece of the car.
the tray is the first piece. Then they add the wheels. They've added the batteries, and you now build your
kind
vehicle.
of build the vehicle, yeah.
Pretty
and the
cool.
caps. Oh no, it is a huge piece of the new EV that's out there, and it's just like I said, cutting edge, state of the art. I obviously know a lot of the guys out there, and
Yep.
Guys from Brazil, guys from India, guys from Poland, they're bringing these guys in from all over, and a lot of the engineering, the high end. And you ask these guys, why'd you locate here? Because we want to be part of the new latest and greatest,
Yeah.
and the EV. That's where everything's going, and can't even begin to tell you how a lot of times we'll get something that's maybe a 15 or 20 years already in an industry, and you're going, does that industry have another 5 years or 10 years? Because hate to say it, nothing ever lasts for 50 or 100 years
right.
anymore, kind of stuff. But we are right at the ground floor.
Just Edison plants.
Yeah. But the way they make power is different than today, which kind of parlays into what we're seeing now. So we've been talking a lot about 26 Mile Road. Everybody thinks we're going to, talk about the next Hall Road, right? We're not talking about Hall Road. We just had our studies recently to look at different zoning, and a lot of that zoning is pretty consistent. It's going to be very rural, very agricultural in some areas, but there's also other areas that warrant investment, water, sewer, power lines. We're shortlisted for a couple companies right now. We are seeing, if Dan Casey were to be sitting here with me, we have seen more inquiries in the last year than we have in the last 17 years that I was on the board. So year 18, it's crazy. Billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, big employment. It really has to do with the proximity of the Macomb County workforce, period. I was at the Macomb County State of the County last night, and Mark Hackle did his presentation. 40,000 people last year moved into Macomb County.
40,000.
1,000 in 1 year. We moved here in 1972. If you look up the population, it was 127,000. It's 163 today. That's 50 years ago.
Yeah.
They got 40 in 1 year, which is important a lot of times, and why we look at certain areas. The companies really dictate where they want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we show them different pieces of property. We got this, nope, yep, okay, we're interested in that. Important for Macomb County to do well. I know you've heard me say that a bunch. For St. Clair County to do well. We couldn't even absorb 40,000 people in a year. We couldn't do it in probably the next 10 years, right? We just don't have the home builders, infrastructure, so on and so forth. They're able to do that, which is important because when they look at 26 Mile Road, 2 miles from 94, literally 26 is, when you get on 94, that's the borderline to Macomb County. So we talk about St. Clair, Macomb County. So having that kind of growth and those numbers really bodes well for us because we point to that as opportunity. And there's still opportunities for our St. Clair County residents not having to make the drive do that. So.
You mentioned on 26 that it's a very kind of road with zoning. So some areas are already commercial, and there's some small factories and things along those lines. But there's a bunch of agriculture too.
Yeah.
So you're saying basically that'll be maintained, but changed a little bit?
Certain areas, yes. So if you look at the most changes you would see in any of the zoning or anything, the maps is the stuff that's closest to 94.
Okay.
right?
And the
So you go
94
back-
area has been building up.
Yeah, it's been building up. You know, you got Anchor Bay Schools over there. You
Ascension
got
River District Hospitals
Yeah, you got three.
40,000
You
square
got
foot
three
building.
hospitals going in there.
Yeah.
You know, why are they putting there? Because someday that's probably going to be.
They know more than you and
They
I
know
do.
more than you exactly. But so let's be realistic. If you start talking 10 miles down Marine City highways, the chances of getting investment there are way less. And I can see this being incremental. So it's going to happen. You'll get your first one here. You'll get your second one. Hopefully there's a third and a fourth.
County, St. Clair County dividing line is County Line Road.
County Line Road,
So west of County Line Road is Lennox Township and Macomb County.
Chesterfield
Yeah.
and Lennox
All three of them are there.
Township. Yeah, Macomb when you get over to the other side.
and then
That's Macomb
East
County.
of County Line Road
East
is
of
St.
County
Clair
Line,
County.
St. Clair County. You got Casco, Ira,
Yeah.
China, Cottreville. And we had met with all the officials there. One of the things too that, you know, when you do these corridor studies, people, even road improvements, even if the first thing you'd said, if, okay, 26 Mile Road's getting busy, we need additional lanes, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Very first thing you're gonna have to do is a traffic study,
Yeah.
part of this thing, period, right? This 26 Mile Road encompasses traffic study, zoning, water and sewer,
Okay, pretty thorough.
utilities, yeah. So this is essentially one of those reports you can put on the shelf.
Yeah.
And when you need something, hey, here's utilities, here's, we need to get some road improvements.
Yeah.
So even if we didn't get factory one that came out of the 26 Mile Road corridor study, you know that hub's getting busier, you know you're gonna need turn lanes, deacceleration lanes, you know, all those types of things. So it's a very comprehensive overall look. It's just, it's not what a lot of people think. And like anything that came out, people, you know, 26 Mile Road. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
after a couple
Well,
meetings, it's,
Nobody likes change, and,
Yeah.
and they get scared and worried until they get some information. So all those studies will really help.
yeah, no, it's been, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want any growth in St. Clair County, you better vote me out of the island, because I am not a no growth, no economic development, no, because what have I heard for years in St. Clair County? Jobs, good paying jobs.
We
This
need more
is
money.
this.
We need
So
more jobs.
when we start to deliver this stuff, don't all of a sudden tell me we don't want it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because it's, like I said, I've heard it, and I can't think if you can live in St. Clair County and work in St. Clair County that there's much better place to, you know, really have to
Right.
go. My wife's got to drive across Hall Road every day, and that thing is tore up 24/7. God bless her. I don't know how she does it though.
Okay, so the summer has been very fun and successful down in the Riverview Plaza, in part to your efforts and other people's efforts, and that probably will continue next year.
Already got the summer schedule booked.
Oh my!
I just
Isn't
filled
that
the
what-
last two
oh
slots
my.
today.
The theater's coming along.
Yeah,
and
theater's
and
coming. I'm not sure the exact time frame and opening on the theater, but you know, 350 additional seats. That is, I know what it's done for Marine City. I know the kind of numbers. You know, you're talking 23,000 tickets out of 150 and 100 seat. This is 350. 40% of those 23% aren't from St. Clair
Yeah.
County. One of the things that really, the theater, it's funny because Don Fletcher, kind of my mentor, I actually just spoke to him earlier today. He's a heavy theater goer.
Yeah.
But Don's 80 years old now, right?
Right.
Don will go to a Tuesday at 1 o'clock matinee.
Yeah.
And I always call him and say, tell me how busy it was. He's
Yeah.
like, I was 80% full, 90%. I'm like,
Yeah.
can you imagine putting a couple hundred people on the St.
Yeah.
Clair on a Tuesday at 1
Yeah.
o'clock or
Yeah.
Wednesday? I mean,
Yeah,
you
3 o'clock.
you have arrived
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. That's absolutely
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And it's coming along. The theater has a matching fundraising thing going through the end of the year from one of the Moore foundations.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, if you get a chance to help out, and it's kind of funny, because I'm not a theater goer, right?
Right.
And I know Tom Kathy, personal friend, so I donate some money to it. I'm an economic development guy.
Right.
Just because I don't do something, I always talk about our lighthouse. I've been up there once. I'll never do it again, nor do I care to do it again.
A little too high.
30,000 people a year come to that lighthouse.
Isn't that amazing?
Theater. I'm not a theater guy, right? But if they're doing 23,000 out of 150, you're going 350, that potentially is another 40 to 50,000 people that will come
Yeah.
to St. Clair,
Right.
and 40% of them are from outside of the area. Then even it's like my bike trail. I'll never ride a bike until I die, Paul.
Right,
Nor do I
right.
care to, nor do I want
Right.
to. But the trail systems of connectivity, and
Oh,
that's
yeah, no
about
wonder.
50,000. That whole, So when you start looking at economic development, you say, just because Jeff Bohm doesn't like something, I can always get behind it to justify
yeah,
the number
yeah.
piece of it. So if we didn't have the lighthouse, you'd lose that. If we didn't have the trail system, you'd lose X amount. If you didn't have that, you start putting that together, and
It works.
It works. To the tune of 100,000 plus,
Yeah,
people a year, kind of stuff.
And we got some housing going up, new apartments going up and down the river. Marine City told me the other day they've got an apartment complex that they're working on and coming
doing
in.
stuff down in Clay Township. I think about, it's kind of funny, when we had our state of the county, that was way earlier in the year, I highlighted 9 different things, and I started out with Cabana Blue, a nice
Yeah,
restaurant,
beautiful
bar. He's going to expand, wedding venue,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. You kind of slide up into Marine City. We worked with the city on the Marine City Marina project.
Yeah, yeah.
They're redoing a building downtown. Tom and Kathy Verton right now as we speak, downtown Marine City.
That's coming along good.
Which kind of, then St. Clair, there's a bunch of investment. You go up into Port Huron's. Larry Jones, nothing short of
just
amazing what
amazing,
he's
yeah.
doing with the Wrigley Center, which is known as the
It looks
former
great.
Art Van. Yeah, it's
Looks great.
$15 million investment. There's plans for doing stuff now. They're getting closer with the. It's got to go to the vote of the people, and to turn that into something, up there.
Hotel
So
or
yeah,
apartments or
get something tax paying on
Yeah.
the rolls, that kind of stuff. There's. I sound like a broken record. There's more
No,
good things
no.
happen, but it's a lot of hard work too.
And as you well know and you discover every day, people don't listen to all that stuff that's going on. And all of a sudden you tell them a story or I tell them a story or something. When did that happen?
Yeah.
It
It doesn't happen by accident. I can
Right,
assure you,
doesn't
we're in a
happen
lot of
by
meetings
accident.
for a lot of reasons. And
good luck to you and your family.
yeah, no,
for the
thank you. It's
holidays.
been a great year, just a lot of really good things in St. Clair County's future. Kudos to, I got to give a big shout out to our Economic Development Agency, Dan Casey and his entire staff. They have just been working their butts off to make stuff happen. And
Yep.
these magna plants of the world do not happen if you don't have Dan Casey sitting in the room.
Well, I
can
love
assure
your,
you
well, the
that.
last time you were here with Dan Casey, and you used the line, which I still remember. It was like the World Series in the 9th inning.
Bottom of the
The
ninth.
bottom of the ninth, and two out.
Oh yeah.
And it was, you hit a home run.
Yeah, bases loaded. You're down by 3, 2 outs, two down. The top reliever in the game's on the hill, and you
You hit the home run.
watch it sail.
Jeff,
Paul,
Merry Christmas.
yeah, thank you.
See you soon. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next week, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.